Hey guys, it's me, Pikmin Master123, and there is stupidity happening. There's stupidity happening in Roblox, stupidity happening in YouTube. I'm about to be covering all of it, cause guess what? It's actually affecting me and my channel somehow. Anyways, I got a whole list of things. So number one, we're going to be taking this back to Roblox, the game we're playing. I have a list. So in this list is a number of Roblox games which could each independently be their own individual AAA industry game. Yes, there are Roblox creators that were so good that these games could be their own games. So I made a great big list of games that are so unique that they could be their own game. Of that list, 14 right now have been quote unquote killed and restricted to 16 plus or 18 plus. One of the two. On top of that, 4 games are straight up deleted. 4 games. And I have some proof of those 4 games right here on the screen and some of the links to them. In fact, I got video evidence of one of these games. Now, 3 of the 4 are space dogfighting simulators. They have no bad stuff in it. There's no reason for them to be deleted. And apparently there are reports all over the platform of certain games getting straight up deleted for no reason. And apparently part of the problem is auto mod. Now I don't know fully the validation for some of this stuff, but apparently it's happening. And there is some proof of it all over the place, which that's not a good thing. How is your auto mod this bad? Number 1. And number 2, how come we're not doing things about some other topics that we're bringing up here? Now, let's ask. We started limiting games. We started restricting them. We started doing a bunch of stuff. Now, we're going to have to start from the very beginning. On Roblox, why do we even have age restriction right now? Why do we have all these checks? Well, it all stems from one problem that Roblox seemingly decides to never fix ever in all of their days. And that one problem is moderation. Because they see every bad actor in every bad instance as an opportunity for money and growth and everything else that's bad in the platform. They see every on the platform as an opportunity. Not an opportunity for growth and change, no, an opportunity to make money. And they are profiting off of the bad actors. In fact, David Baszucki himself, the CEO of Roblox, has been in condo games and received rewards from and medals from condo game owners. And you say that Roblox CEO and the company isn't corrupt. Tell me how you can have these bad actors not get banned after such a long time? How come Roblox isn't doing its federal job to report criminals to the police? And how they're going after people like Schlep, who they call bad actors themselves, but in reality they're doing what the police do. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the modern stuff. Such as the fact that currently, as this is being recorded, it is June. And in July, we're going to have a terrible, terrible update that's going to deal terrible, terrible damage to the entirety of the platform. So let's talk about it. First things first, we know why age checks is happening. It's because a bunch of countries got mad at Roblox and they think that their only course of action is to abort all moderation because, we know they're still not doing the right thing when it comes to moderation. And they're saying, age checks. Yes, we're going to protect children by having them age checked. We're going to limit games and not verify via accounts instead. This account has been played for multiple years. A number of years that this account has been played is in the double digits, yet we won't count it in the double digits either way because you haven't age checked, even though the account is over X years old and you saying that I have to age check and give up personal data. Well, too bad I'm not going to be doing that. I said that from the very beginning, and I've been telling lots of people don't age check. Some of them have, and some of them face bigger restrictions than I do. In fact, this version of the game, it counts me as 13 plus with no age checks. That's right. Roblox has officially counted me as something due to the fact that it's almost July. And we're going to be getting to what happens in July. But first things first, why have 14 games on my list of 40 plus games been locked? Well, that's because of the new update where I haven't verified, because apparently I am being put in what seems to be select. which is between 13 and less than 16, because it doesn't count me as 16 plus. Fortunately, somehow I'm not being counted as kids, which I'm not verified. So, I mean, I'll take it. You're not limiting me on every game I can play, but still, you have shut down games. Now, what have they done? Well, any game who has a creator who did not verify is now being limited. That means that that game, which does not have a creator, very big distinction, that game which either has an AFK creator or someone who did not verify is being restricted. Now, what does that mean? That means if the guy, like me, they have decided that they do not want to verify for their own personal well-being, the fact that people can just buy the information off of Roblox for that version of their personal well-being. They decide they don't want to verify. Roblox is going to lock that game to 16 plus and no one can play it except people who verify to the highest level of verification, which is 16 plus basically. There is a higher, quote unquote, higher level of verification, and that would be technically the 18 plus. And then there's also the 21 plus, which, I don't care. It's the same thing as the 18 plus. You have the 16 plus and 18 plus, and however higher you want to go, and that can actually play these games. But even the most basic 14 games getting locked behind a wall. Tiny Tanks. There we go. One of the more popular of them. It's probably at least a couple of people's childhood. It's officially locked behind walls, and it's not getting unlocked ever, because I'm pretty sure the creator just straight up left the platform. Which, good for him via his personal information. I'm not going to get on him for that. But his game is now currently unplayable to any younger audience. Specifically, anyone who's been age checked under 16. Now we have even more restrictions, because it gets worse. Now you might say, okay, I can play all of these games that are currently in XYZ, right? You can play all these games that are in your unrestricted area. No, those games are on a time limit. And what is that time limit? Well, it focuses on two factors. Number one, is it a new game? So new games now have a whole new list of stuff they have to do so that they can be even scanned for approval or put into the approval process for letting younger audience members, quote unquote, play the game. What does that mean? Well, you need one of two things. A Roblox game to successfully be put into the process of being checked for if it's able to be played by quote unquote Roblox kids needs to have 500 ID verified, highly engaged, 16 plus, spent money to buy Robux in the past 3 months, and spent money on your game in the past 60 days. Or, the new edition, pay 100,000 Robux or 1,000 USD, and that's only refundable if your game stays in good standing. Now, what could that possibly mean? And could they lie about games being in good standing? Well, who knows what the term good standing even means. So good luck getting your money back, because there's a very decent chance that Scumbox over here decides to be scummy and not do the right thing. Because of course, if their moderation hasn't been doing the right thing, how do you know anything else will also be doing the right thing? Well, guess what? You don't. So we all know that Roblox is not only doing this for moderation in the children, but also for the money. The most important aspect of all. The poor dollar bills, pennies, quarters, and nickels just wasting away in your wallets and your bank accounts. Nickel and diming you until you're dead. Because we all know that Roblox is not doing this for the good of their hearts. No, they're doing this to keep countries from banning it, because they know that their moderation is so trash that they're letting and using the bad actors as an opportunity. When your head CEO says bad actors are an opportunity, you know you're doing something wrong. Yet they keep on doubling down on top of it anyways. So go figure. But basically that means any new game, and there's nuances here, any new game faces those restrictions. In fact, any game that has under 1,000 people on Roblox Kids in the next 3 months might be removed off the platform entirely. Yes, there's going to be, they already said this, people forgot about it, that older games are going to have a requirement to stay on the platform for kids. Now there are multiple variations of this requirement. I don't know exactly which one it's going to use, but you have to be in good standing for 90 days. Number one, that to get your money back, to get refunded, that 1,000 USD in Robux. They're not giving you your money back. They're giving you the Robux back. To get refunded that Robux, you have to be in good standing for 90 days. But apparently Roblox Kids is having this restriction where if there's less than a certain amount of players afterwards you got all these requirements, you could be kicked out of Kids. Your game might be straight up removed from Kids if you fall under a certain player number for a certain amount of time. So there's a time span on top of this. Now, what does that mean? Because even I'm kind of confused about this quote unquote time span, right? Well, that could mean one major detail. What happens if you run out of that time span? Will you be refunded? Because the refund apparently requires you to be in good standing for 90 days. So does that count as a good standing? And that's my biggest question here. Well, if they want money, the answer is no. And we know that Roblox really wants money. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we know they're selling people's ID to multiple governments. We know they left them in completely unsecured, unpassword protected even. Anyone can access it with the right link. Government websites. So who knows? But let's get to those locked games, right? 16 plus. Yes. Well, apparently, if you're not in good standing with kids, and there's a version of that for 13 through 16, those games will be removed from the platform and sent back to only 16 plus. That's right. So there might be even more locked games happening over time, maybe even starting right now. The timer might be already ticking, guys. And it gets worse because some of these 14 games, for example, Tiny Tanks, there's no reason you should be age restricting that game. That game is the most basic of tank games. It's like the Nintendo tank game. Like, it's very simple. You have rebounding bullets that you get shot out of a cartoon tank. Yeah, real big deal there. You want to age verified to play that game? I'm not. I sure ain't. But anyways, the list is slowly dying, and I couldn't get video footage of all of the list. Sadly. I do have a lot of documentation of some of this list, and I am actually glad that one of these games on a secondary list actually did get taken down because it's a military sim, but that's its own can of worms for another day. Roblox is profiting off of this. That's clear. Not just in money from game verification, they're profiting off of people's information. And a lot of people forget about this. A lot of people keep on forgetting about this. And it should be put back into their minds over and over again until it gets the point across, because they're not doing the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, go figure. And now where do I stand? Well, I'm trying to get video footage of a lot of this stuff before it goes down. And if I have a 3-month time limit, heck, maybe not even 3 months, who knows? My account's 13 plus even though I didn't verify. Purely due to its age. What happens if they decide to put me in kids anyway? They could. I'm not verifying. So, who knows? They could definitely do that either way. I don't know if it's put in 13 plus for... I'm guessing the reason is account age, because why else? There's no other reason it would still be completely, I would say normal, but we all know that normal is 16 plus account years, which up until a few days ago, actually no, not a few days, up until like a week ago, I was able to play some of the games and get some video footage before they were taken down, like I said. And I'm going to show some of this footage. Might be in another video, might be some in this video. And these games should not have been restricted. There is, heck, you guys have probably seen my Tiny Tanks footage. If not, I'm going to be putting a link to it. These games should not be restricted. Those ones, specifically. Like, Tiny Tanks, dogfighting simulators. Why are you removing them completely from the platform? There is literally no reason. There's no other way around it. Roblox is deleting stuff. Roblox is straight up removing stuff off their platform. And it's not gonna stop anytime soon, that's for sure. Specifically because they're profiting off of it, and everyone knows they're profiting off of it. I would say that's all, but it's not. Roblox's moderation is getting worse too. There have been people who are able to get into other people's accounts by just going through their help desk and saying, "Hey, yeah, I can't get into my account," even though the account has two-step verification. How is your moderation that bad that someone can not go through two-step verification and get into your account? Literally, the account has two-step verification on there. You're telling me the help, quote-unquote, help desk won't see, hey, this has two-step verification. How about we have two-step verification and simulate that right now? This is the phone number on file. Well, they certainly ain't no Steam help, that's for sure. And now other instances of banned members. Banned users are getting their accounts back and able to sign back into the platform. Bad actors are able to get back on this platform. And it makes no sense how bad actors are able to get. Actually, no, it's even worse than that. Bad actors aren't getting banned. Still, games might be restricted, but condos is still around. Heck, some of the condos aren't even restricted to 16 plus, according to some of the information from certain users. They're supporting bad actors. They're supporting bad actor games. They're supporting condos. They're supporting all this stuff, and it makes no sense. Cause if a country actually cared about Roblox moderation, they wanted to say, "Hey, ID verification, guys." No, they'd actually look into the game. And if these countries looked into the game as it is right now, they would ban this game. Roblox has had problems for such a long time. They see a bunch of countries starting to look at them, and they say, "Hey, not only can we say we're safe, but we can profit off of it by selling our users' data." And they also sell it to the very countries who are looking at it. What else would be the perfect gift for a country that's like, should I keep this game around? I don't know. What do I get from keeping this game around? I mean, it's not it's just a video game, right? Social engineering? Why an easy way of getting our people's personal data? Easy way of getting other countries' people's personal data. A way for our markets and us to sell to other companies. Now that's a great policy. Now on top of selling data, what if we start forcing our users to also pay money by scorched earthing all the games on the platform? Nah, we're getting somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the current mindset of Roblox. Roblox is scorched earthing their own platform. Why? For more money. Because they know that they are probably going to be going down. Their stock, it started at 150 at the beginning of this year. Now it's down to in the 47 or whatever. Whatever the current number was. It was down to 42, went back up, went down again. Roblox knows exactly what they're doing. They know that they are going to eventually lose. They know they're being looked at. Not good enough, though, right now. Not good enough, but they know that they can try and influence it. They know that they can try and influence people. And fun fact, half of Roblox users aren't even verified. So they're also looking at that. They're like, okay, what can we do to sweeten the pot to get these people to verify? And they're still not verifying because I ain't gonna verify. And I know a bunch of other people who ain't gonna verify ever. So then they're gonna have to do one of two things, which is either keep some stuff for the non-verified, which they technically are doing, but also try and force them to verify so they can get more money. But anyways, I'm pretty sure I had more to say, but that's that. I don't know. This is some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. And there's another problem that's getting added to this, and this is another recent problem. I don't know if anyone's heard of this. YouTube is now doing more restrictions. YouTube is now doing a second wave of shadow bans onto a bunch of people so they can't see their content. And they're hitting specifically Roblox, Minecraft animation again. So you might have heard about the first wave of shadow bans, where YouTube was hitting all these groups. Well, YouTube is now doubling down and trying to get more people to ID verify. They're restricting more stuff. They're trying to lock down even more aspects of YouTube behind ID verification again. This isn't just the first. We already heard about this before. Yeah. You guys heard about this before. They're doing more now. Don't know if you guys heard about that part. They're doing more to try and restrict it more. So that's fun. That's some interesting news you guys probably haven't heard yet. Or if you have, you didn't know much about. Yeah, they're doing a second wave and it's coinciding with all this dumb stuff that's happening with Roblox. And how apparently in July everyone's accounts is going to start going down. They're going to be moving to the officially quote unquote new better safe system for everybody. Yeah, no, it's not a safe system. We already know it's not. We already know it's the worst system possible. In fact, I've said this before. This is the age targeting system because each age is getting bracketed in specific brackets, specific restricted brackets. They're bracketing ages. They're putting them so that if an account is in a bracket, you only interact with that bracket or brackets basically right next to it and underneath you underneath the kids accounts. There are so many brackets connected there, so many individual brackets too, it's stupid. So they're allowing people to attack and bad actors to target specific bracketed ages now. And here I'll slap an image on here. That's the bracketing system. Congratulations, bad actors can target individual ages basically. Well, none the company's corrupt. That's the only part of this that makes any sense. Ladies and gentlemen, Roblox is corrupted from within. The entire moderation's corrupted. The CEO is corrupted, and I'd say the investors are corrupted. The investors are morally bankrupt right now. That's what I'd say about Roblox. The issue isn't just the company. It's the people funding the company. The company is completely morally bankrupt. We all know this. We've heard so much about this already. What we don't say is that the investors are morally bankrupt. Because that's what's left. That's all that's happening. You have all these investors that are sticking around and not pushing for the right thing. No, you're pushing for an excuse. You're saying, we've age checked. So you pushed for an excuse. Let that sink in. You're not pushing for safety. You're not pushing for moderation. You're not pushing for the right thing. You're pushing for an excuse. You're pushing for something that says, I'm safe. A little plaque. You're just adding a plaque to a desk and saying, hey, this plaque means this company is safe from any bad actors. It's not. You're lying to literally everyone, including yourselves. But you don't even have to lie to yourselves or your own company, because the entire company is morally bankrupted from top to bottom to the very, and even the very highest. The funders, the investors. Yes, the highest isn't the CEO, it's the investors. Because guess what? The investors vote on things. The investors agree to things. And if the investors wanted to do moderation, Roblox would do moderation. Trust me, investors have a lot more power in a lot of these orgs than you think. But still, CEO definitely ain't doing the right thing, but he was put there. If the investors wanted him gone, he'd be gone. Look it up. You don't believe me? Look it up. How about that? Don't know what else to tell you. All these games are getting scorched stuff off the platforms. They're getting rid of old original games. They're putting them behind a literal paywall where you pay with your face, ID, personal information. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't care. That's literally the facts right there. The new currency you're paying for playing this game is your personal information. And that's going to be the truth. So congrats. You're playing yourself because you're going up against Roblox. There's not much else to specifically say. I don't know. It's bad all over the place. How about that? It's bad everywhere. That YouTube somehow YouTube is messing with YouTube and shadow banning people, and YouTube Kids is worse and so unrestricted that's worse than Roblox and YouTube combined. YouTube's Kids. Hey, you made a kids platform. How about you go fix that before you fix kids being on YouTube? Maybe if your YouTube Kids was better, parents wouldn't have kids go on YouTube instead of YouTube Kids. Maybe you've always had a difference between the YouTube and the YouTube Kids accounts. You just haven't thought about it too very much. I don't, there is so many layers to this stuff. It makes no sense. From any standpoint, if a company wanted to make heavy, long-term money, they'd just do the right thing. However, we know that every company loves the short term. And we know that if the company goes down, it hurts all the internals, but yeah, you know what? It going down can also make you a lot of money from the trash heap in the fire. I I guess I got my point across. Who knows? I don't. I don't even know if I got my full point across. I've been thinking about this stuff since I've lost a total of basically 18 games off the list. 4 completely deleted, 16 no, wait, no. 14 deleted off the one list. 4 games deleted period and 2 games off another list. Yes, that's the total numbers. So in total, 20 games killed not on the same lists. 20 games killed overall. 14 games removed. 4 games killed overall. And 16 games total removed. 14 off of the list. They just removed that much content. Off of my list alone, which is a list of 40 games. Well, 40 plus. A list of 40 plus games. And they were the 40 plus games that I'd consider good games on Roblox. Good games that deserve to be AAA games. Good games that if you were to say, pay money on this game, I might pay money for that game. That's what I have to say. There are games so good on Roblox that I might have paid money. Well, I didn't pay any money, but if it were an actual game, if it were a real game, if it were a true game, a game on, heck, a Steam game instead of a Roblox game, I would have paid money for it. That's how good some of these games are. And unfortunately, these games are getting decimated by the platform that's hosting them. But go figure about that, because they do not care. They want the money. So, not much we can do, eh? Not much except not verifying. Ladies and gentlemen, best thing I can tell you to do is don't verify. Don't give them personal information. Don't give them anything. Just don't verify. The company is the bad actor. Ladies and gentlemen, short story. Too long, didn't listen, too long, didn't read. TLDR, TLDL, I guess. The company itself is the bad actors. The investors are the bad actors. It doesn't matter. The game doesn't matter right now. The moderation doesn't matter because it's broken from the top level, the highest levels. It's broken internally. It's broken funding. It's broken on the internal level. It's broken on the funding level. It's broken on the user level. It's broken everywhere. And they keep on killing every aspect. Now it's game creators and games. You're restricting it to only the biggest game hosting companies, straight up companies that make Roblox games. Yeah, those are gonna be the ones that are left. The normal creators, no, you already killed them. The people who are trying to do the right thing, which you call vigilantes when they're literally doing their legal obligations, you already killed them. You're killing you're killing everything from every level. You're even killing it from the player level by forcing verification down everyone's throats. And you're saying that half of everyone verified? I'd like, you know what? I have a theory behind half of everyone verified. And I guess I'll leave it off of this. What are you counting as the players that verified? Because I'm pretty sure certain countries have automatic verification for even having a Roblox account. They have multiple other levels of what they would call verification. One of them you're dealing with right now because of, verification. But I have a very decent example. Are you including your Chinese users? Because guess what? They are already all verified. So what do you call half of your platform is verified? No, I really want to know this now. Because this has been around in my head, right? You're giving the numbers that half of every player has verified. But I doubt that. I seriously doubt that. And I know a lot of people are making joke there. Of your total active player base, how does half of everyone verify? Because something just seems off, especially when non-verified players can still play the game, at least to my level, or similar to this level I'm playing. At least right now. Because it doesn't make much sense unless you're counting something which people don't think you'll be counting. And that could be certain countries' automatic what am I? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't it Venezuelan servers also doing a certain idea of automatic verification? But that's because they're playing a different version, but it still counts as Roblox. So what did it count as verification? Because if half your numbers are accounts that are automatically guaranteed according to your data as verified, and you're saying that any account from these certain countries, due to restrictions made by those countries, that they're auto-verified accounts, doesn't that mean you're also lying about the numbers of people who verified due to that update? And the answer would be yeah. So I guess that's the answer right there. That, heck, they're even lying about the numbers, which go figure. If you're corrupt on all levels, what's a little bit more? But anyways, I guess that's my rant. Apparently everyone's getting shadow banned, which I might even have gotten a little bit of that because I was doing better before all of this trash started. I actually had some good numbers on one of my Roblox of all things. I did not think I would blow up over that video, but I call it blowing up because I've not seen numbers of that magnitude period on any lifetime of my channel. I've seen one similar video go anywhere near that, and that was not Roblox, that was Minecraft. And that was over a very special server for the time, which might be getting killed eventually. I guess that's it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be doing editing of this, and let's see when it gets posted. By the time it gets posted, it might be too late. And even if people speak out, I doubt Roblox will do anything, or their investors will do anything, because at this point, they're all morally bankrupt, and we all know it. If you've clicked on this video, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye, guys. If any of you guys want any additional information on any of this, I might have some new info by the time this video comes out. So, you got any questions that I might be able to answer, I guess put it in the comments.